Now, if the title didn't give it away, today's video is going to be focused on looking at Fallout CC in The Sims 4. So I have taken a collection of items and objects from an article which I will link in the description if you would like to grab anything I showcase in this video, or if you want to see what else they showcased in the article, feel free to look down below for the link to that. Given the Fallout nature, I thought it would be really fun to start with a Vault Boy as the sim for looking through these objects. There was no other purpose other than showcasing the Vault suit and a couple other CC objects that I found, but I thought it was funny, and so I made a quick little Vault Boy. Now, as you can tell, the first object is a Vault suit. This one starts with 111, but there were several different swatches that include other numbers, so we have 101, of course 111, and then 76. Additionally, this one does come with dirty swatches as well, so if you are going for the pre-war or the post-war look, this has you covered. Beyond that, we also have two different Nuka-Cola suits, which I believe are from Fallout 76. You'll forgive me, I have not played that game, so I'm not 100%. For anyone who might like the vibes or just like the way that it looks, feel free to grab this as well. Similar to the Vault suit, it comes in a couple different varieties with clean and dirty swatches. And now before we jump into the actual game, I wanted to jump to the children's section where I do have one single Vault Tech onesie that sort of looks like the jumpsuit, but it is specifically just something cute that your children could wear. Even if you're not a big fan of Fallout, I think this one's kind of cute in general just because it's from a game franchise, and you might have a sim that really just likes games, likes video games, and so you can use this as a way to showcase that aspect of their personality. Okay, so I popped into the game real quickly just to set up a sort of display space for the CC that I found. I want to stress again that this is not going to be sets. I did find a few sets that I would like to cover in a future video. Let me know if you want to see that. But this is just a couple individual pieces that I found. So it's just little things that you can add into the game if you're a fan of the franchise without adding in entire sets of furniture and items that you can use. I'm going to go ahead and start with some of the bigger ones. So my personal favorite is the garage workbench, which does function like the woodworking table from the actual game, but it looks like the settlement workbench from Fallout 4. As you can see, it also comes in a bunch of different colors. We have some sort of rusted colors, red, green, and then we have just a couple different neutral colors. I say neutral. We have a couple different colors that you can also use if you feel so inclined. I think this one is probably one of my favorites because I do like that post-war sort of aesthetic, if you know what I mean, and just looking a little bit grungy as things in Fallout, and especially Fallout 4, typically do. The other big ticket item I found is going to be the Porta Diner, which is one of my favorite things specifically in Fallout 4 because of this pristine pie up here. And if you don't know, you do actually have the option to interact with the Porta Diner in the game, and there is like a 1 in however many 100,000 chance to get this pristine pie up here, but you have to interact with the diner like X amount of hundreds of times, if not thousands, to try and get it. And of course, similar to the workbench, it does come in a clean pre-war state and then the post-war state that is more common within the game itself. I, again, really like the post-war look just because of how much detail it looks like the creator put into making it look accurate to the game while not feeling entirely out of place in the sort of Sims universe. Because, you know, some of the CC items that you can get don't always look the best when they are put next to, say, any other item in the game. So if I were to turn off my CC and put this next to this, for example, while it doesn't look super right and correct, it doesn't look out of place. It's not conflicting and jarring to the eyes, at least to my eyes. Now, running back to the CC, I want to take a minute to look at all the posters that I found. The first one, these are just a collection of Fallout posters. The default swatch is Nuka-Cola, but I believe this one has a bunch of just, they're different Nuka-Cola posters. They have swatches that relate to things you might see in the game, or things that just are part of the game. So you have the Fat Man, you have propaganda, you have a Vault-Tec poster, just general Fallout, and of course the war never changes, the popular opening line from Fallout 4. I will say now normally I would say something about these posters not being in Simlish, but as someone who's a fan of Fallout, I'm actually not opposed to the posters being in plain English. It's nice. Something about it just really scratches an itch in my brain, but I am very biased. Similar to how this one is different posters within the different swatches, we also have special posters which cover all of the stats in the game. However, what's different about this one is that it is in Simlish. So we have strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. I don't want to tell you how many takes it took me to get through that, despite the acronym literally spelling out all of the skills. And then next to that one, we have another set of posters from the same creator, which are just Vault-Tec propaganda posters. So you would see a lot of these just in the different games if you're exploring vaults. I think this one says, like, Vault-Tec wants you, for example. And again, they are in Simlish. So these two, compared to this one, do really fit well into the Sims universe. And if you're going for that sort of nerdy Sim aesthetic, it might be nice to have these even if you yourself are not a fan of the franchise, because again, it speaks to your Sims personality. So I would recommend both of these wholeheartedly, even without my bias for the franchise. Now I have one more set of Fallout posters to show you, which are this guy right here. As you can see, this is a whole different sort of situation. They also come in different swatches. However, it changes their placement. But what you can do with this one is actually use the different swatches to create a sort of custom situation. I will say there's a chance I have this one installed wrong because it doesn't look right with the shadows, but that could be something where this is a little bit outdated. I'm not 100% on that, but feel free to go down to the links in the description and pick this one up for yourself if you would like to have this situation in your game as well. I just wanted to put a couple more together to see if it looks better. I do think this looks better. The shadows are still messed up a little bit, but again, that might be on me. Now, moving on from the posters, I do have a bunch of little tiny sort of decorative items that you can use as clutter. Some of them are a little bit risque, potentially. I have a set for chems, so it has cigarettes in it. It has jet, mentats, things like that. We have a cigar right here. And then some of them are also like toys. So if you want to have a little car, we have a toy rocket. We have a toy truck. There are a lot of different toys specifically in this one. I might go ahead and get rid of this table because I want to set them up specifically so you can see what they all are. But I also would like to have them sort of in the sets that they came in. So give me just 2 seconds. Okay, so after sorting through all the tiny little objects, I was able to find the chem-focused ones, and I put them all on the ground here so that you could look at them. We have some of the health-related things like stem packs and Radaway, and then we also have Puff Out, some cigarettes. We have some other things that you might take in the game for stats boosting purposes. And then one of the bigger things we have is the Psycho right here, which again is something you take for stats boosting purposes. Definitely not for any other reasons at all. No, none at all. And this is what they look like sort of up close. You can see the CC creator for these worked really hard on this. It looks really good. Again, I feel like it's things that look like they can belong in the Sims universe without being too far removed from Fallout. They have some really good meshes, they have really good coloring, everything just looks right and good and correct, and I love it. This has been such a fun experience looking through Fallout CC because I wasn't aware of how many Fallout CC options there were. And then while those other things might not have been very universal, I also found a set of different toys and things which are much more usable for general cluttering and household purposes. I'm not sure if they are usable in the context of the game. They don't have any stats, so I'm gonna guess no, but as soon as we get done with showing everything that I found, I will go into the game and test if you can actually use the different toys. So here's all of my little toys. We have the Blast Radius board game, we have chessboard, we have the toy car, which is one of my least favorite things in Fallout 4 because it is very annoying when I am trying to scrap things in a settlement and I have to find the little hitbox for the toy car, but it's okay. The toy car can't hurt you. Then we have a little teddy bear and of course Jangles the moon monkey, which again, funny voice line from Fallout 4. I'll insert it here if I can find it.
Now just answer me one simple question. Are you human? Because I will not serve a synth. No, I'm Jangles, the moon monkey.
Now, before I move on to show you some of my absolute favorite things that I found, I did realize that I missed the cigarette machine, which is part of one of the sets that I found. This one, I think, only comes in the post-war swatch. There is no pre-war swatch for this one, so it's a little bit more specialized in its usage. But if you are a Fallout fanatic who's just looking for things to add to The Sims, I think this is a good option. And then, of course, I also have this briefcase, which is just a nuclear grade suitcase. I'm not sure where this came from, actually. I do not know, but you can stack them together, which I think is just really fun. Okay, now on to some of my favorites as a Fallout player. I'd be lying to you if I said the bobbleheads weren't some of my favorite things in Fallout, especially going around to collect all of them in Fallout 4. I just think it's really fun. I think that they look really cool, and I am extremely biased because I also collect Funko Pops. So this is literally just my in-game version of Funko Pops. Leave me alone. These are all of the bobbleheads specifically from the 4th installment of the franchise, and they do provide an environmental boost for your Sims, so just having them in the room is likely to put them into a good spirit, and it will give them that moodlet that says the room is nicely decorated. And now finally, rounding it out with more usable items, there were 3 different computers and 3 different radios that I found. This one is the improvised computer, which is reminiscent of the ones you would probably see in the railroad in Fallout 4. This one is the regular standard Fallout 4 computer. This one does come in a pre-war and post-war swatch. The other one did not. And then finally, we have the Institute computer, which is just exactly what it sounds like. It is the Institute from Fallout 4, and this is that computer in The Sims. All of these computers are functional and offer the same stats: 8 fun, 8 reliability, plus video game, programming, comedy, and writing, just like most of the computers in The Sims. And lastly, on the showcase section of this video, I want to show you these 3 radios that I found, 2 of which are definitely from Fallout 4. I'm not sure if I am just blanking on this one or if it is from a different version of the game, but this one is also here, and they all have several different swatches. This one, they don't seem to change very much, but these 2 will change a lot on the outside depending on the swatch that you choose. And they have a post-war swatch right there. I didn't even find that on purpose. That was on accident. And that is about everything I have to showcase of the custom content that I found in my first little go around. There are a couple things linked in the article below that I did not showcase, either because they weren't working for me, I didn't really like the way that they looked, or in the case of the sets, I am saving them for a future video, so let me know if you would like to see those. Before I leave, I do want to go pop into a speed build where I'm going to just quickly build a little room for you guys, just to showcase what all of this could look like in a build. Okay, so fun fact, this is actually Garrett on a different day, and by different day, I mean I recorded this video that you just watched like a month ago. So many things have changed since then, and I really debated actually putting this build into this video or releasing this video at all, but after sitting on it for a little while, I decided that I wanted to go ahead and let it be released because I'm very passionate about Fallout and Fallout 4 specifically, which is, of course, where all of these items came from. And so I wanted to take the time to really delve into this CC that I found, and then, of course, to showcase it in a build that is reminiscent of sort of the Fallout 4 main menu screen. And honestly, getting the chance to watch this back, I am happy that I made the choice to post this video because I really like the way that this build looks. Yes, it's kind of bare bones because I wanted to focus mostly on the CC, but overall I think it looks really cool. I was able to show not only how these items can be used in the game, but how they can be used in context with other things that we have in the game. So for example, you see me use the desk from the werewolves pack, and then I think that bed that I'm about to use is from Strangerville. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, but I think that is from Strangerville. And then of course I did a lot of werewolves because werewolves really leans into that rundown sort of grungy aesthetic that the Fallout items are really good for. So it just made the most sense for me to focus primarily on that pack, as well as a bunch of stuff from Strangerville once again. And seeing how it all went together really brought me a lot of joy. There were some times when I worried that I wasn't sure if I was going in the right direction. And watching it back now, I can kind of see places where I hesitated about using certain things over others. But overall, I think this looks really cool. And as someone who really enjoys the settlement building aspect of Fallout 4, which if you aren't familiar, settlement building gives you the chance to basically play The Sims in first person. Now that's kind of a stretch, but if you really like building in The Sims and you like the idea of like managing a sort of town situation, I would honestly recommend Fallout 4 just for the settlement building because it's like a whole different take realistically to the process of like building and managing a group of people, and you get the added benefit of being able to walk away and go do some other things. So if you want to do missions that happen in the game, you can do that, or if you want to focus primarily on settlement building, there's technically nothing stopping you from just building up every settlement in Fallout 4. Beyond that, it introduces this whole interactive component of gathering junk, which is what you need to get the materials to build things. So if you want to add wooden pallets, if you want to build a metal shack, you have to go find things like trees, cans, alarm clocks to get all of the different materials that you would need to complete this build situation. As I'm wrapping up, I just want to draw attention again to the little porta diner because it makes me cackle. I love that item. And even though it doesn't make a lot of sense right there, I wanted to include it anyways because I thought it was so funny. It's just so funny. And honestly, beyond that, it just brings me a lot of joy. Okay. I love Fallout and I love The Sims, and doing this really gave me the opportunity to explore both of those things together. Let me know if you want to see more things like this from me in the future, or if there are any other games you'd like to see me look at the build CC for. And I think that's the video coming to a close, so I will see you in the next one. Check the description below for all of my links, and feel free to tell me what you thought of the video, or if there's anything else you want to see from me in the future. Bye, guys.